Right now you are losing money. Not tomorrow. Today. And the number is not small. Most people in your position are bleeding out at least $300 every single month without ever seeing it leave. Close this video if that does not bother you. What I am about to explain has been quietly removed from every financial literacy program, every school curriculum, every bank brochure ever printed. And there is a specific reason for that. The average person between 25 and 45 will earn over $1 million in their lifetime. Most of them will retire with less than $50,000 saved. That gap, that enormous silent gap, is not an accident. It is the result of a system designed to keep money moving away from you and toward people who already have it. The mechanics are simple, but nobody explains them plainly. That is also not an accident. Studies from the Federal Reserve show that the bottom 50% of Americans hold less than 3% of total national wealth. The top 1% hold more than 30%. Those numbers have gotten worse every single decade since 1980. But here is what nobody tells you. The wealthy do not earn more because they work harder. Most of them work significantly less than you do. The difference is not effort. It is a single structural decision they made, and quietly repeated. That decision is about where money sits when it is not being used. Your money is sitting somewhere right now. The question is whether that place is working for you or against you. For most people, it is working against them. High-income individuals do not keep excess cash in standard accounts. They keep money in instruments that generate yield while they sleep, eat, and do nothing. The money earns. They do not have to. This is not about the stock market. It is not about cryptocurrency. It is not about any high-risk scheme. The thing I am describing is boring. That is exactly why it works. Boring is invisible. Invisible means the market does not react to it. But here is what nobody tells you. The boring moves are the ones that compound. And compounding is the only financial force on earth that genuinely gets stronger the longer you ignore it. Let me give you a number that should make you sit differently in your chair. If you had placed $500 per month into a basic index fund starting at age 25 and touched nothing, by age 60 that position would be worth over $1.1 million. You have probably heard that before. Here is the part they never say out loud. The reason most people do not do it is not that they cannot afford $500 a month. It is that someone or something has already claimed that $500 before they ever see it. Your subscriptions claimed some of it. Your car payment claimed more. Your credit card interest, which is essentially a monthly fee you pay for the privilege of being in debt, took the rest. And all of it happened automatically, silently, every single month. That silence is the mechanism. Wealthy people use automatic systems too, but their automatic systems move money toward assets. Your automatic systems, the ones you signed up for without thinking, move money away from you permanently. But here is what nobody tells you. The banks design their products specifically to intercept your money before your brain registers it as available. It is not passive. It is engineered. There are entire departments whose job is to make sure that interception is frictionless. Your bank pays you somewhere between 0.01 and 0.5% interest on a standard savings account. That same bank takes your deposited money and lends it to other customers at 20 to 28% interest through credit cards. They profit from the difference every day, using your money. This is legal. It is disclosed, technically, in documents almost nobody reads. And it is the single most profitable arrangement in modern consumer finance. Your savings account is not a place to grow money. It is a warehouse where your money sits while the bank uses it to make their money grow. The wealthy know this. They do not use savings accounts as long-term storage. They use them only as temporary buffers, short-term liquidity. while their actual capital sits in things that generate real return. The shift seems small. The result over time is not small at all. But here is what nobody tells you. Financial advisors at large institutions are not legally required to act in your best interest in most structures. They are required only to recommend products that are considered suitable, which is a very different and much lower standard than optimal. The most important part of this video is still coming. Stay with me, because what I am about to say in the next few minutes is the part that most people watch 3 or 4 times before it actually lands. There is a specific behavioral pattern shared by people who accumulate wealth across generations. It is not income-dependent. Researchers have documented it in households earning $40,000 a year and in households earning $400,000 a year. The income is not the determining variable. The variable is the order of operations. Wealthy families pay assets first. They allocate to savings, investment accounts, and income-generating positions before any discretionary spending occurs. That money is moved automatically on the day income arrives, before any decision-making can interfere. Average earners do the opposite. They spend first. They pay bills. They buy what feels necessary. And at the end of the month, whatever remains, if anything remains, is what they save. That remainder is almost always smaller than expected. Often it is 0. 2 households. Same income. One builds wealth slowly but consistently. The other remains flat or slides backward year after year. The only difference is sequence. When the money moves, and where it goes before the brain gets involved. But here is what nobody tells you. Your brain is not designed to be good at this. Human psychology is built for immediate reward. The part of your mind that handles finances is the same part that struggles with dieting and exercise. It knows what it should do and consistently fails to do it without structure. This is not a character flaw. It is biology. But wealthy people found a workaround. They removed the decision entirely. They made the correct behavior automatic, so that their psychology never had to fight with their finances. The system ran whether they were disciplined that day or not. Think about what that means for you. Right now, every single month, you are relying on willpower to make good financial decisions in real time. Willpower is finite. It depletes by afternoon. It collapses under stress. It fails every time life gets complicated, which is frequently. The people winning financially are not more disciplined than you. They are better systematized. They made one decision, once, and that decision now executes without them, every single month, silently, automatically, with no further effort required. But here is what nobody tells you. Setting that system up takes less than 90 minutes if you know exactly what you are doing. Most people never do it not because it is hard, but because nobody ever sat them down and walked them through it step by step without trying to sell them something. Now let me say something that may be uncomfortable. If you are in your 30s and you do not have at least 3 months of expenses in a liquid, interest-bearing account, separate from your checking account, that is a choice that has compounded negatively for years. Not because you are lazy, not because you are unintelligent, but because at some point, probably more than once, you told yourself you would sort out your finances when things calmed down. Things never calmed down. The decision kept getting deferred. And the cost of deferral is real. Every month you wait has a mathematical cost. That cost is not abstract. If you are 35 years old and delay beginning a consistent investment position by just 1 year, the compound impact of that single year of delay, over a 30-year horizon, is approximately $40,000 to $60,000 in lost terminal value. 1 year, not a decade. 1 year of waiting, at average market returns, costs you that much in outcome. That number is not a motivational figure. It is arithmetic. And the arithmetic does not care about your circumstances, your intentions, or what your month looked like. But here is what nobody tells you. The people who taught you about money, if anyone ever did, were operating inside the same broken system. They were not hiding information out of malice. They simply did not have access to the framework that changes outcomes. They passed on what they knew, and what they knew was incomplete. That is not an excuse to stay where you are. It is context for why you are there. Context is useful. Staying in context forever is expensive. The shift required is not a mindset shift. Mindsets change slowly and often reverse under pressure. What is required is a structural shift. Change what happens automatically. Change the sequence. Change where money goes before your hands ever touch it. People who have made this shift describe it as strange at first. The money moves and they feel it. Then they adjust. Then they forget the adjustment happened. Then months pass and the position grows and they realize they did not miss the money at all, because they never held it long enough to miss it. That is the silent money effect. You do not feel wealthy. You do not behave differently. You do not post about it. But the position builds, month after month, in the background, with no drama, no luck required, and no dependence on the economy doing anything unusual. But here is what nobody tells you. This is how most generational wealth actually starts. Not with inheritance, not with a business exit, not with a lucky trade, with a quiet, boring, automatic system that ran consistently for years while the person living inside it simply got on with their life. The wealthy do not talk about this in public because it is not interesting. There is no story. There is no struggle. There is no transformation narrative. There is just a decision, a structure, and time. That combination is aggressively unsexy, and it is almost entirely responsible for the wealth gap you see widening every year. Here is the revelation. You do not need a higher income to change your financial trajectory. You need the income you already have to move in a different sequence. The money passing through your account right now, if redirected in the correct order, is likely enough to build a meaningful position over the next decade. Not rich overnight, not financially free by next quarter, but materially, measurably different in 10 years, which is the only timeline that actually works for people who are starting from zero or near it. 10 years is not long. 10 years ago was 2015. Most people reading this right now will not make the change. Not because this information is wrong, because information alone does not produce behavior change. That is the final piece of the system, and the hardest one to talk about plainly. But here is what nobody tells you. The people who do make the change rarely feel ready when they do it. They feel uncomfortable. They feel uncertain. They make the structural change anyway because they finally understood that waiting for confidence is just another name for staying broke with better intentions. The difference between where you are and where you want to be financially is not knowledge. You have enough knowledge. The difference is execution. And execution requires a structural decision made today that removes your future self from the equation entirely. You will not remember this video in 6 months if you do not act on it this week. That is not a criticism. That is how memory and behavior work. The emotional weight of this information will fade. The arithmetic will not. The $300 you are losing this month will leave again next month. And the month after. Silently. Without drama. Without permission. Because the systems running against you do not need your attention or your consent to keep running. The question is not whether you want more. Everyone wants more. The question is whether you are willing to make one structural decision today that your future self will never have to think about again. Wealth does not announce itself. It does not arrive in a moment of inspiration or a sudden change in luck. It accumulates in the background of a life being lived, through a system that runs whether you are paying attention or not. The only thing separating that life from the one you have right now is the decision to build the system. Nothing else. Not luck. Not income. Not timing. The system. Build it or keep losing. Those are the only two options on the table.